Oh, hello. So this is just how I make the hip part of Shockwave. I didn't expect it to take so long. It's the first time I timed it, so it really shows how slow I am at doing this, as I'm just figuring out while I'm making it. The reason why this particular piece on them took so long for me to make was because I was stalling and very nervous to make it now that the TikTok video got really a lot of views and comments and stuff, so I didn't want maybe I got a little bit pressured to make it good and I didn't want it to fail, but now I felt brave enough to just go for it. And yeah, so right here I'm just making a basic shape at the moment, where I'm just doing a basic like T shape, I guess is the closest I could think of, before I'll decorate it more when I'm done with part of the legs. Maybe, we will see. But this is the basic part so far, and I don't usually have a idea of what I'm doing beforehand. I'm just kind of going for it while I'm making it. That's the good part about cardboard, is that you can just if something is wrong, you can just cut it up again, or use the glue gun to melt off the glue. I've done that a couple of times on the figure. One arm I had to redo a part of completely that I didn't like how it turned out, and I could just do that easily. So yeah, trial and error, but that's fine. It's good. It makes it more loose, so I don't feel like I have made a mistake that is gonna be permanent. I can just make it and then change it. But yeah, so over here we can see I'm really slow. This is sped up, by the way, a lot. Like I thought I was doing this really fast, but when I'm in the zone, I guess things take a lot more time than what I think. Here's me cutting up the brush, the plastic of a paintbrush. I just had it laying around. I was gonna throw it away, but here I realized while doing Shockwave that it worked really great for joints. So here I'm using it for doing the joint part of connecting the legs to the hip. And the worst part about this was figuring out how to make like a ball joint somehow. I hadn't done that yet. Not one that was needed to be round, at least. I had made parts that were like just a little clump on the end of, for example, the head, just to make sure it didn't pop off the body. But here I had to make a bunch of layers, and I was really nervous that this wouldn't work, but I think it will, because it turned out really round. And while I did it, I was nervous how I was gonna make it work and connect it and make sure it doesn't get ripped off while it starts moving and stuff, because I wanted it to be able to pause at least a little bit. So, but realistically I can't make that happen, I think. Not just by itself. Maybe at some point I could, and maybe with other materials, but just with glue and cardboard it won't work. But I wanted him to at least be able to move his legs. So my other way of doing it was then just make the legs, and here I am. Throughout the video you can see me get more and more bored of waiting for the glue to dry out, and I was jamming to some music while I was recording as well. So even I get bored of just the waiting periods of this. But what was I talking about? Instead of losing the joints for the legs, then I will make a little stand that connects on the back of his between his back and hips. In a way, I'll probably show it off another time, but I think it will work better so he can at least stand with that then. Otherwise he will just have to sit, and I think that's not too much of a problem for my sister. It's for her I'm making this, kinda because when I looked at Shockwave figurines, at least before now, there is one coming out now, but even then Shockwave has always been very expensive, and for just a simple Shockwave figurine I thought maybe let's see if I can make it. I always work with cardboard a lot with projects I have the crow mask that I have a working jaw on. We also have my older projects that's a couple years old. I think I still have TikToks of them. The diamond sword and the Minecraft flower, the poppy flower, I think, or maybe a rose, I don't remember. So yeah, I've been working with cardboard for a long time. I actually started at school in art class where they had a lot of cardboard laying around, and I just started making stuff out of it, and it just kind of stuck because it was really calming and nice to do that. You can really make a lot of it with cardboard. I've seen other people make stuff like guns that you can reload and stuff. So cardboard is really cool and freeing. You can really just make whatever you want if you really put your head to it, like I am doing here with the Shockwave figure. Because in the beginning I thought maybe it will work, maybe it will not, but we will see. But it seems like a lot of people got really amazed by it. Oh, this part I wanted to talk about as well. You can see a little head rubber band that is gonna go from the hip joint up inside Shockwave's torso, because I have a middle piece in there that has a hole. Go through that hole and back down again and connect to the hips again. It was a bit fidgety to make this happen, but it turned out really great because now he can turn his hip too, and it can bend forward and backwards, but it will snap back into the right position. The only downside is that you cannot turn it one way forever. You will have to turn it back because it's not like joints, it's just rubber bands. But I think this is a good way to make it good quality also, so that you can move it around a lot without it losing its power. I also did glue the joints on his arms after a while. It kind of bothered me how loose they were. It's been bothering me for a while, and I realized now that I want him to be able to pose a little bit better. Because it's been fun having him have these loose arms. It has been fun. He's kind of been like a doll when you move him around. But I think now he officially needs to be able to just hold up his arms and stuff if he's gonna be able to pose at all. So here I am just putting glue between the joints and moving the arms around and spinning the joints as much as I can while the glue is drying, so it creates like a rough area. So I do that to all the joints, even the ones in the between the shoulder and the arm, I think. The one in the middle there. Which made it so much better. So now he's able to pose. As you can see as well, he doesn't have a hand yet. I just got new pieces, new materials for that as well. I really wanted those kinds of wires that are flattened with either what's it called, plastic or paper, that you wire around like toys, for example, when you buy them, so that they stay in the box. Those things I wanted to use to be able to bend his fingers later on. So that's what I'm gonna do as well, while doing the legs, I think. But yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. You can see me cutting up pieces for legs right here. But thank you for watching, and I think this is pretty much it. Until next time. So goodbye.